Yo, what's up, guys?
Yeah, we just got in. They're starting. We're a little late on this, but just in time, apparently. So I'm Flarebear, you have Pulsar.
And we're right into the race. As usual, just doing spaceship. Going to be trying to get 2 yarn in the first timepiece as fast as possible.
So if I'm not mistaken, Patwah is a keyboard player, right?
Yeah,
Oh.
Patwah is a keyboard player.
Did you see that?
Yeah, Patwah is
That
doing interesting old strat. Shoutouts to Doka. Doka does the same strat.
Keyboard players think alike.
It's a little bit of a fast start to us on commentary, but Patwah is getting a early lead in the first level of the game.
Yep, Patwah is a 2-second lead. Okay, so let me update that. Okay, so yeah, the timer that they're racing off of and that we determine results by is in-game timer. So if their time RTA gets too different due to like slower or faster loading times, then I'll make sure to update it so you can see whoever is actually winning. Because the winner of the race could end up finishing second. Like RTA. If it makes any sense. So what Patwah and Chockrit are doing right now, both in the same thing. Right now, they're doing kind of what they did in the first level. They went to this level because there's a lot of fast yarn in it. Like, he just got the second to last one. Now he has 4. So that's 4 really fast yarn in that level, and that's important because that's enough to make the second hit. Which is what they're going to be using in some of the upcoming Mafia Town levels to save a lot of time. After now, there's barely any, like, all the yarn that they grab is scattered throughout the rest of the run, because they only need 1 more hit, and it's at the end. Most of the stuff you do here is with only 3 of them. So the sprint hat, its ability allows Hat-Kid to run faster like that. It changes her jump and her speed, obviously. So like, the jump that they do when they're sprinting is like 1 big front flip jump, whereas if they're just walking normally, then they get 2 normal, slower double jumps. And you can abuse the kind of speed that the sprint head gives you with certain movement exploits that we'll explain as they become useful.
Yeah, so finishing up Shaking Fire Space, Chockrit actually gained a little bit of a lead on Patwah. Here we already see an example of the RTA times the loads affecting RTA. So it looks like Chockrit's behind right now, but he's actually ahead.
Yeah.
So that gap will likely grow because of different load times throughout the race. Yeah, Barrel Battle is part of the reason why we do Shaking Fire Space first, so that we can craft the Brewer Hat. Having the Brewer Hat for this fight makes it go by a lot faster, because you can... So normally, when you see the Mafia guys are red, you're normally supposed to jump on their head, but you can alternatively hit them with the Brewer Hat, and it kills them a lot faster than jumping on their head.
Yeah, basically the Brewing Hat's ability is a charged projectile that you can throw that like breaks their like rage shield, I guess, and it does a lot of damage.
See if girl can handle this barrel.
Yeah, this is the more exciting part of the fight.
Yeah, standing still is a very important part of this game.
Do not think about avoiding barrels.
So Yeah, you can see on both runners' side now, we're starting the last part of the phase. Ooh, Chockrit unfortunately misses the snipe. What you can do there is charge up your brewer hat and throw it at the Mafia guy as he's walking down. And you can make him kind of teleport down, almost, by hitting him.
Yeah, he has this long sequence where he walks down towards you, and if he takes damage while he's walking down through the projectile that you throw at him, he kind of just falls to the bottom.
Yeah. So it's actually a relatively close race coming out of the first 3 levels already.
Yeah, they're like tied right now.
Yeah. Let's see, let's go to check. Patwah entered at 4:45. Chockrit's gonna enter at 4:46, so really close race already. We'll likely see a split in this this level particularly, because there's RNG at the end. So, unless you get the same RNG, which is unlikely, they will likely be... There will be a time difference between the two.
Essentially, there's a boss at the end of this level that gives one of the only instances of RNG in the run. He has 2 attacks that he can do anywhere from 2 to 4 times, and each time he does them, you lose extra time because you can't hit him during those. So how many times you have him do those attacks determines how fast your boss is. And it's up to a 14-second difference of how much time you can lose or save. Of course, comparing the worst possible RNG to the best possible RNG. So right now, Patwah is trying to climb up the wall and get on top of here, because this room in it has like a little mini boss fight, I guess, and a cutscene trigger at when any time you land on the floor in it. And so doing Chockrit's going for it as well. Doing this allows you to skip those 2 sequences and enter the actual boss itself faster. So right now, the attack that Patwah's getting, you can get that anywhere from 2 to 4 times. And so each time it happens to you, it loses a couple seconds.
Yeah, so each phase of the fight, it's ideal to have him do the sandbags once. He's guaranteed at least 1 sandbag, but you can do 2 for each phase. And each sandbag loses 6.5 seconds. Thank you, Woofer, for timing that. Oh!
He missed a hit! I've never seen that before.
Okay, I don't know how he got inside of him. That was weird.
Yeah, he had...
that's a pretty big time loss.
He had him land right on top of him. But yeah, he has to go through a whole extra hit now. I've never seen that happen before. He couldn't hit him because he was stuck inside of the boss.
Alright, Chockrit is finishing up this fight with a little trick. If you're holding your brewer hat, like you're charging it, and you're at the very corner of the arena, the Mafia Man will try and throw you away, but because you hold the brewer hat, your collision's a little bit different. So you actually get stuck on his back, and then when he tries to do his next attack, it just throws him out of the world. And then he eventually dies.
So Chockrit is solidly behind now because of that one mistake.
Yeah, that was a very rare occurrence. It's usually...
Patwah's gonna go for double dupe, he's just practicing it. Oh, never mind, he's doing sewers first. There's 2 levels there that you can opt to do in whatever order you want, and he's opting to complete this time rift first. If Chockrit does Golden Vault first, we might see him do double dupe.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Right,
Chockrit's going for it.
So this is double dupe. It's a pretty... Oh, he misses it. Okay, he's going to try and set it up again. What he's going to try and do is jump from a high spot on this clock tower and jump all the way to the ticket so he can take damage. If you pick up a ticket while you're taking damage, he'll actually duplicate it for some reason. Let's see. He should get it. There he goes. He got it. Unfortunate first miss there. But Patwah also made a mistake on sewers. I'm not sure how much time he lost there. but
Probably nearly the same amount of time.
yeah.
Like he fell down all the way from the top. Both of them had big mistakes on their levels. Yeah, the reason why Chockrit missed the first dupe attempt that he went for, basically you have to take fall damage close enough to that ticket that you can still grab it while you're in iframes before they run out, or else you won't dupe it. So what he did the first time is he jumped off with a sprint jump. That was an error on a trick called an SUJ, which is sprinting and then letting go of sprint, and then in the next one of the next few frames after, jumping, so that you get both of the jumps of the normal speed of Hackett, so you get 2 jumps, but you're at nearly sprint speed, so you go really far because of it, and it allows you to make it far enough to get that ticket easily before running out of iframes. So the first time he didn't get that SUJ, so he knew he wasn't going to make it far enough and just went back down.
Yeah, you just saw Patwah go for the safe golden vault without doing double dupe.
Unfortunate too, because I saw him practicing double dupe quite a bit
Yeah.
before the race started, so I guess he just wasn't feeling confident in it after his practice.
Yeah, missing it and then having to go for it again can lose a lot more time than just doing the consistent strat sometimes. But if you get it first try, it's a lot faster. Chockrit just finished sewers, so both of them are headed towards being a Mafia town. Alright, we can get a time difference here. Patwah enters hitting at Mafia town at 9:54. And Chockrit's gonna be pretty close to that.
Okay, 2 seconds ahead for Chockrit. Yeah, it's been a really close race so far. I haven't had to update what place they're in this much. A lot of the time it's been pretty one-sided so far this tournament. I'm predicting this will be close almost the whole way through. Oh no, he's dead!
That's a big mistake on Patwah's part.
I don't know what he was going for.
He was trying to set up the double death warp strat by getting himself down to 1 HP. But he unfortunately accidentally kills himself before he hits the next valve. You see Chockrit try and do it. Okay, if Chockrit didn't land on that tightrope right there, he would have just done the same thing. Patwah has to make another trip back over here. Just gonna put Chockrit ahead by about a little over 20 seconds.
Yeah. 24 seconds ahead, yeah. So basically, like, the fall damage Chockrit just took there, he's trying to take fall damage and lava damage in the fastest places possible so that he can end up at these faucets with 1 HP, which allows him to die as soon as he gets to them and then warp back to the beginning, because the checkpoint is always in the start for this level. Yeah, Patwah overshot one of the jumps that he was going for and fell down early and had to start all over. So now they're hitting this last one. The reason they skipped out on doing it before is whenever you open the last faucet, it plays this little cutscene. If you try to do like a death warp after that cutscene, then like you can't like enter the cannon. It just kind of messes things up. So you can't warp after that. You can't warp after any other faucet, basically. Like, you have to finish with that one, or else it's a huge time loss. Because you have to backtrack.
Yeah, Patwah finding himself quite a ways behind Chockrit now. There is a trick coming up that if Chockrit messes up, if he goes for it, can lose him a lot of time and Patwah can catch back up. But we'll see that in the level after, the one that Chockrit is doing right now. So Chockrit is doing, actually both runners are heading towards the final level in Mafia Town. It's another time rift, pretty straightforward, just go to the time rift and then pick up the timepiece and then you'll be headed towards the next chapter. So we're in Bazaar now. Oh, well, that was scary on Chockrit's part. He could have, that could be consistent. I just don't usually see people go for that. Oh, he misses a dive boost. That's a unfortunate little time loss there. Let's see if Patwah. Yeah, Patwah just got it. So RTA, Patwah's ahead. Oh no, he's not. It's really close to RTA. But in game time, Chockrit is ahead of Patwah by still about over 20 seconds. Really close race RTA. It looks pretty funny already. There's a whole lot to. Ooh, I don't know. I'm not sure if Patwah's already gotten a remix, but when you finish these time riffs, you get a roulette at the end. If you get a remix, oh, it looks like you already got one. But if you get a remix, then you'll get a little cutscene when you get back to hub that wastes 3 seconds. It's really not common for you not to get that cutscene over the course of your entire run based off of how many time riffs you do. Alright, let's see if our two runners here go for this trick. I believe both of them do. Yeah, Patwah's doing it. Alright, they're both doing it. So this could be, if Chockrit messes this up, we could have a lead change coming up right now. And if Patwah gets it first try. He's setting up for it. Oh, okay.
You can still back it up.
Off.
As long as he doesn't fall off, you can still back it up.
Oh, Patwah misses it. Alright, he's going to get bagged. Oh, both of our runners here are having trouble. Looks like, okay, they're both gonna go into the bag. Yeah, fair enough. You can see Chockrit mashing the heck out of this. When you press X, you do whatever Chockrit's doing right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this emotion of mass punching from Chockrit looks like a message of anger to me.
Yeah, so I believe Chockrit's still a little bit ahead. He did lose a little bit more time than Patwah did, though. So yeah, both of our runners will be losing their souls in this run. We will not be seeing it again. Because getting it back is slow. So now we're just headed towards the main part of this mission, which is burning some paintings. Patwah did not... Yeah, you have to get close enough to that dweller in order to light off the cherry.
Come with me.
Yeah, the main part of this level will just burn the paintings, talk to Snatcher a couple times, and then you'll get the timepiece. We might be seeing some intentional damage here from our runners. There's a death warp coming up at the end, where if you grab a cherry, throw it at the timepiece, and then pick up the timepiece.
What is Chockrit doing right now? He got stuck inside that little tree. He had to hop around for a bit.
Ooh. Yeah, getting stuck in there is actually kind of annoying to get out of. Ooh. Yeah, Patwah's going for the death warp. You can see he's trying to get a cherry up here. Chockrit's also doing it.
Is he stuck? Okay, no, he got it. I thought it was stuck. Yeah, he needs to carry it up to the top because of the dweller that's right in front of him. He's gonna light that on fire right after he finishes his cutscene and throw it next to the timepiece. Here, Patwah's going for it now. For what it'll look like. Successfully, he should grab it and die after he gets it. The timepiece is still collected, but what this achieves is respawning him back at the start of the level. Which is useful because the next level that he needs to enter, you can enter from any act. So you don't actually need to use the contract for Subcon Well to enter Subcon Well. So he's making his way over to it now. And that accomplishes skipping one trip back to the spaceship and going to the telescope again.
Come with me. You'll come with me.
Okay, so you can see we're going out of our way to burn these two paintings here. It's not required to do this in order to get the timepiece that we're working on right now, but it unlocks certain areas where it's much easier to get the timepiece. Or it's actually impossible to get two of the timepieces, and it's easier on a third timepiece coming up in the future. So So I'm not sure exactly what the time difference is right now. I think Chockrit's ahead by just a little bit. A few mistakes that Patwah hasn't been making so far is closing the gap between them. So on this level we get the hook shot. You can see Chockrit about to pick it up right now. Patwah already has it. This pretty much allows you to do like swinging moves around certain like hooks that come around. You can see Chockrit doing it right now, and Patwah is also doing it. Very prominent in this level because it's kind of like the tutorial to it, I guess. So Patwah is heading out of Subcon well. Chockrit starting his hookshot phase. If you mess this up, it could be pretty catastrophic. It's really down to muscle memory for most runners. And he gets it. Easy. Cool. So there's actually, looks like Patwah does know this trick. If you miss bag skip, or if you just don't go for it, when you finish this level, a contract will pop up and it'll pause your game. If you switch your controls to keyboard and mouse, you'll actually be able to control Hat Kid while you have the pause menu up. And what this allows you to do is grab the timepiece, and then while the pause menu is up, you can exit the hub. Looks like Chockrit didn't do it.
Yeah, and what it allows you to do is not have to watch the cutscene that Chockrit just did.
Yeah.
So they both had the opportunity to do it. I guess Chockrit didn't know it, but yeah, that's closing the lead from Patwah to Chockrit a little bit more, but yeah. Chockrit is still about 10 seconds ahead.
I think the exit the hub saves like 5 or 6 seconds, I believe.
Yeah. And the reason that happens is the contracts that they've been signing at the end of certain levels, whenever you complete a level or an act that you have signed a contract for, it like shows that you succeeded and like after you beat it, and it forces a pause screen on your screen, like telling you to go like turn in your objective to snatch or whatever. And whenever it forces that pause screen up on your screen, you can continue to move with keyboard while it's there. So the one other place that you'll see it is mail delivery service, because that's the only other contract that they grab. So like you said, that happens if you don't go for bag skip. Because if you do bag skip, then you skip the first cutscene of the contract that they grabbed in the first level, which means that you never get the contract for well. So you might be expecting a really long level there, like Vanessa's Manor. Really long and scary level. There's a hole that was added in right there that allows you to go right to the end of it. Mainly as a joke from back in the speedrun days of this beta days of this game, speedruns.
Yeah, it was kind of a joke because this level was so long, and all the beta guys were just like memeing around about looking for Vanessa skip, and then eventually the devs just put it in as a joke, I guess. So thank you, devs, for making us go fast. So we have 3 levels left in this chapter. You can see Patwah going to a time rift right now. 2 of the 3 next levels are time rifts. We have 1 real level coming up after the time rifts. You want to do the time rifts first because whenever you complete an actual act in this chapter, you get an extra cutscene in the telescope. But if you save that for the last level, then you don't have to go back into the telescope, so you kind of skip a cutscene. So Patwah's on pipe. It's a pretty cycle-based level, mainly up to this part, and it looks like he got it. Yeah, if you get on the gear that he just jumped off of in time, then you don't have to wait for it to come back up in order to grab the hook shot. See if Chockrit gets it.
It is one of the more lenient cycles of all the rifts in the run, so he should be fine. Unless if he makes like a major movement error. Yeah, he's way ahead of the cycle. He's fine. So it looks like they're both on Forest Critter now.
Yeah. So at the end of the time rifts, you can get a cosmetic in various different ways. So it looks like both of them have the same color now. It's kind of interesting.
Whenever you get items like those, like a cosmetic for the brewing hat, you want to make sure that you don't opt to put it on whenever you get it, because not a huge deal, but obviously that means whenever you spawn back in the telescope, you're going to be wearing the brewing hat, which there are few cases in this run where you don't want to be using the sprint hat.
So it looks like we have a pretty huge RTA difference, but Chockrit is actually 18 seconds ahead of Patwah right now. This is Village. Unlike most time rifts, this one isn't super cycle dependent. There is a trick, I guess you could say, coming at the end of this, where instead of going around the puzzle where you hit all the bells and stuff, you can just jump on the first bell and go straight towards this timepiece. Let's see if Patwah gets it. It can be pretty tight sometimes, and he gets it.
Fine.
So now Chockrit is coming up on the bell jump. You can choose whether or not to actually hit the bell in order to make a platform under the timepiece. Looks like both runners are not going to go for that.
Yeah, they're
They're
fine.
just going to get right into it.
Basically, if you hit the bell, it makes that green platform below the timepiece solid, so you have room to have a little bit worse of a jump and still have enough distance to make it.
Yeah, so on the right, you see Patwah doing the final level in Subcon, which is mail delivery service. Snatcher gives you a scooter to just ride around on and deliver mail to all the spirits of Subcon. You want to save the guy who's closest to the timepiece spawn for last in order to do what Patwah just did right there. So similarly to what he did in Subcon Well at the end, he can have a contract pop up and then save and exit to hub while he's in the timepiece animation, so he doesn't have to watch the whole thing. Cool. So now Patwah's in chapter 2, which is the last chapter we see before finale. So the level he's in right now is kind of like a stealth mission, but you don't have to worry too much about the penguins or the birds that spot you, because they're usually pretty lenient on whether how long you are in the cone of vision. You can see all the red lights and stuff are where you can get spotted. Most of them you can just stay inside of their cone for like a little bit and you won't have to worry about it. There is a infamous penguin at the end though, who if he sees you for like at all, like 0.1 at all, he'll spot you and throw you back like 15 seconds. So, yeah, Patwah's on a good cycle, so he's not going to get caught by him. Oh, he's going to actually wait. Safe strats. The penguin he just passed was the one I was talking about, by the way.
Yeah, it can be worth it to take a safe cycle on that penguin, because trying to go fast and barely cut the cycle, like, getting hit by him, his, like, beam for detecting you goes, like, through all the walls. It has a big range. It goes off immediately, so, like, if he sees you for a second, you immediately get caught. And the last checkpoint you touch before reaching him is, like, 15 seconds behind, so that's how much time you lose by getting caught by him.
Yeah, so if you're not sure whether or not you'll get caught by him, it's definitely worth it just to wait a little bit.
See if Chockrit draws a picture here. No, he didn't. Yeah, I was expecting him to maybe go for it. Yeah, he wants to win.
This race is actually... I don't know how far our time difference is right now, but it's not a huge difference right now.
It's grown bigger. Chockrit has like 30 seconds on him. Okay, so Chockrit opting, we're actually not going to know the exact time difference now because Chockrit's route is differing a little bit from Patwah's. So he's opting to do this time rift early, so we probably won't have an exact time difference for a while until they make it to like Parade, I think. Because they're doing all their levels in a different order.
Yeah, and Battle of Birds, this chapter, it's not super important whether or not you, or like which levels you do in each order. Most runners do the big parade last because it costs a lot of pawns. But other than that, it can differ between a lot of runners. And, alright, so both runners are on the same level right now. This is a pretty long level though, so Patwah's way far into it. I didn't get to explain it when Patwah did it, but there's actually a huge sequence break in this level where instead of going around all over the train looking for keys and stuff to unlock this one door, you can actually get to where the door unlocks right away, right after you watch this cutscene to actually get into the main stage of the level. So Patwah's finishing it up, and Chockrit's heading towards the main section of this level right away. There's actually a button in this room that he's in right now, up top, that you can get up to if you have not, or if you've gone through this cutscene. For some reason, there's a wall up top. It just makes it so you can't even get up there at all. But that wall is removed after you go through this cutscene.
See, he's going for it now, just getting on this bookshelf. You can wall kick up on top of that thing and skip having to go all the way around. Start out on the top floor immediately and skip going through all those doors you saw him available to enter. And this takes you straight into the last room. Oh, he was close. So, whenever you entered that room, you saw him go for the door and then get teleported back to the start. Basically, there's supposed to be a cutscene that normally plays as you enter that. And after a couple seconds of doing it, like with the sequence break, it starts you back out at the beginning, either because that's when the cutscene would have finished, or because that's when it realizes that you're, like, doing something wrong. I don't remember exactly what causes it. But if you can make it to that door before you get warped back to the beginning, then you can skip, like, having to start over and enter it immediately. But it requires near frame perfect movement. One of the hardest things to do consistently, by far. Well, Patwah is a decent bit ahead. Keep in mind, Chockrit has done Gallery Rift and he is not, so whenever Patwah gets around to that, he's going to be slowing back down. Chockrit still should have like a 30-40 second lead, I believe.
Cool. So we're done on Patwah's side. We're done with the first 2 chapters of the main section of this chapter. He's entering Train Rush right now. This one level is not the only reason, but part of the reason why we do Subcon Forest first before this level, or before this chapter. You need to have the hook shot from Subcon Forest in order to actually complete this level. There's like one part that you need it in order to actually start the level at all. So yeah, like we said a little bit ago, it's hard to tell whether or not the runners are far apart or not, because Chockrit did a level in a different order than Patwah does. So it could be yet another route difference here. I'm not sure exactly what Chockrit does. There's 2 different levels you can do after you finish Picture Perfect if you've already done Gallery. You can either do Train Rush, what Patwah's doing right now, or you can go back into Murder on the Owl Express and enter the time rift that spawns in the level after you complete the first 2 chapters. So here goes Patwah, finishing up Train Rush. He's gonna craft the Ice Hat. That signifies that he's probably gonna go for a strat in Parade. We'll discuss that later, it's coming up in quite a while actually. Chockrit did Train Rush first. Yeah, here's pretty big route difference. If Patwah finishes Gallery right now, then they will all have the same amount of levels complete. Considering Chockrit will finish Train Rush.
Yeah, we'll see how far they are apart here. The routes are finally evened up again. Oh, missing the platform strat. So whenever you enter this level, at a certain point the platforms start like going forwards, and if you make yourself land on top of one of them, you can like have yourself dragged along with it and start out way farther ahead. But if you miss it, you risk that you just fell down and had to start all over. Okay, so Patwah finishing at 33:58. So Chockrit still should have like 30 seconds on him.
1 minute and 20 seconds until self-destruct. Better hurry.
Okay, so we see Patwah doing every level possible before Parade. That's actually smart for him to do, because Parade costs a lot of pawns. And having your route have Parade at the end is good because you get a lot of extra pawns. You can see he has 159 at the bottom left of his screen right now. You need 150 in order to just get into the level. So having that extra little bit of leeway for grabbing pawns is very important in some cases where you're low on pawns. So the rift that Patwah's doing right now is like the most strict, I would say, for doing cycles. Chockrit's doing Parade first, which makes the timing a little bit different. We'll be able to know the time difference at the end of this entire chapter now that we're doing another route difference.
No! Patwah fell at the very end. He made
That
the
is-
cycle and everything, but he didn't touch any checkpoints. He has to start all over.
That is huge. There is a
And it's like
checkpoint you can grab for safety reasons, but he did not go for
he's
that.
falling again. Yeah. If you grab the ledge on those spinning platforms, every time Hat Kid pulls herself up, there's nowhere for you to land. Like if you grab the ledge of those, you're just gonna fall. But yeah, Chockrit definitely has over a minute on him now.
Yeah, that is a very large mistake.
He's down
from
again.
Patwah.
Can't find his way over to those platforms. I assume he has like muscle memory for how to make it whenever he does the cycle correctly. Because he got it cleanly the first time with the sprint jump, which is a little bit harder to do. Okay, he's good on that one. Made sure to grab the checkpoint that time, yeah. He's safe now.
Alright, so what's happening on Chockrit's side is kind of an auto-scroller bit of the game. This level is a little under 4 minutes long, if done optimally. Basically, the whole premise behind it is talk to DJ Grooves, and then just sit around for a little bit, and then DJ Grooves tells you to do some stuff, and then you repeat that twice. You just sit around, wait for him to tell you to do something, sit around, wait for him to tell you to do something. And then eventually he gives you a timepiece, so that's pretty nice. Yeah, the reason why we do such a long level is because it unlocks 2 other timepieces that are really fast. It also allows you to get a lot of pawns for the last level that requires pawns in the game. Cheating the race, which we'll see right after we finish this chapter.
Basically, while it would seem unappealing to do a 4-minute level in a speedrun, by completing this last act of Battle of the Birds, or like one of the last acts except for the boss, once you complete this and the other 3, which would be Picture Perfect, Train Rush, and Murder on the Express, you unlock the award ceremony, which decides like which of the 2 birds, like DJ Grooves or the conductor, which won the award. And then you go to their ceremony and they give you a timepiece for helping them. And then after that, they like it unlocks like the actual boss level where you have to go back and like investigate like the context behind the award or whatever. But that's a really long level, so we just kind of take the free 10-second timepiece and get out of there without helping. So that's why we do parade. Chockrit taking a bit of a fall there, should still be able to make it up fine.
Yeah, this is the last task that you have to do in this level. After pressing that button he did right there, he just has to wait for the timepiece to spawn. He's going for a trick here. If he messes it up, it's a huge time loss. Basically, it's another death warp. He's gonna lower himself to 1 HP.
Uh-oh. He's a little risky right now.
So what he's gonna do is get in the ice hat. Sorry, he's gonna get an ice hat where the birds cannot hit you, and then he's gonna have the birds hit him because they follow his exact movements, and so if he just moves in a certain direction and they hit him, they'll actually launch him in a direction. Let's see if he gets it. He's doing it right now.
Yeah, so as long as he goes straight forward, as long as he angles straight forward towards the timepiece, they'll hit him in that direction, so...
Yeah, okay, he gets it.
It's a bit lenient.
This saves quite a bit of time, actually. Grabbing that timepiece spawns this time rift down here, so you can just go to it straight away after death warping. Normally, if you didn't die right there, you'd have to go back to hub and then re-enter parade and then walk to that timepiece or time rift. So he's doing a similar death right now, where he's gonna lower himself to 1 HP, and then kind of do the same thing. He's gonna stand in front of the timepiece and then let the owls hit him and kill him. And what the one in this level does is it allows you to save and exit the hub before you even get the roulette to come up. That comes up after most time rifts. If he dies on his way over, though, it's pretty unfortunate. And it looks like he's good for the most part. He just has to stand in front of... Oh, he grabs it. Okay. That's like it's a pretty minor time loss to just grab the timepiece, but I don't think he meant to do that because he did set up for the death warp.
Yeah, he doesn't have to be watching that roulette that he just did. He could have skipped that if he had died. But yeah, that's the small thing that he missed out on. Patwah's setting up for parade death right now as well. He's in a good spot. Got 1 health. Just has to get the jump correctly.
Yeah, so Chockrit has Murder on the Owl Express Rift to do. This is a level that Patwah had a lot of errors on. Again, this is mainly dependent on the cycle. So hopefully Chockrit gets it.
He looks like he has a decent angle. He's about to get hit. Oh no, he didn't get hit at all. He went right past him. Let's see if he goes for the backup. No, he didn't. He just grabbed it. Yeah, basically there's a backup you can do where if you don't get the death right on top of that pole, you can just jump in front of the timepiece and have them knock you towards it. But it's risky because you're out in the open without the invulnerability of the ice hat. You just have to kind of stand there for a moment hoping that no missiles run into you while you're at 1 health. So it's a bit risky.
Chockrit does make the fastest cycle possible on this level. It's a good job on him. Yeah, what Patwah's doing right now, you can see what Chockrit basically skipped. All of this movement to get to this time rift is skipped by doing that. Chockrit actually getting a very good IL time of 59.85 on Murder on the Owl Express. Anything sub 1 minute is very good. It's a good job on him.
And pretty much all you have to do to make sure you make that is just get the first cycle. Like, up until the very end where you jump off of the lamppost, as long as you make the first cycle, you're going to get the same time every time. So you have a bit of room to make bad movement and still not lose time for it as long as you still make the cycle. So yeah, it just depends on how fast your entrance and grabbing the timepiece are. So you'll be able to see what Chockrit was trying to do as long as Patwah gets his death. He put himself at 1 HP, so he will be going for it.
Yeah, Chockrit is now finished with Battle of the Birds. He just has a couple of timepieces to grab in order to meet the prerequisite in order to get into finale. Here goes Patwah with the death.
Yeah, he got it. So they just bonk him right into it like that, and then immediately after, he quits back. So that's it for him.
Chockrit is on cheating the race. The beginner's nightmare of a level, because it's very, very important to get good movement on this level. Otherwise, you'll be sent back to the beginning and lose like 30 seconds or something like that. So hopefully he gets good movement.
Yeah, basically as you saw him enter, it said like, are you sure you want to go? You don't have the required item to beat this. The way that this level is beaten casually is by using the time stop hat, which slows this guy that he's racing down significantly. But with really practiced movement, you can barely make it to the end and still manage to beat him. So he got it first try, didn't really make any big bonks or anything like that, so he made it cleanly.
Yeah, Chockrit does have a solid lead over Patwah right now. I think one major mistake in finale is what Patwah needs for Chockrit to do in order to be back into this race. But we have seen that happen before, so don't count Patwah out yet. So Chockrit is on the final level before the finale of the entire game. Pretty quick level. He's gonna go for the first cycle. It's pretty close.
Barely made that to the top. Yeah. He made it up right as it went away. Okay. He went for a jump there to skip across that gap by doing an STJ. He got it, and as you saw, he immediately changed his mind, like, nope, I'm not risking this. Because there's no checkpoints over there. So he jumped towards it and then went to the left right after, is I assume what his thought process was.
Yeah.
Here we go!
Yeah, so here comes finale on Chockrit's end. Patwah has mailroom to do, and then he'll be in finale as well. There's a very precise set of movements coming up in finale where if you mess it up, you can lose upwards of multiple minutes. So hopefully Chockrit does not mess it up. If he gets finale skip first try with no mistakes, he should have this race secured. Patwah's doing some safe mailroom. He's getting bullied right now by a bird. he kills it. I respect that. Grabbing that checkpoint. And there he goes. Now both runners are in finale. You can see Chockrit having a little bit of trouble getting over this fence here. Normally you're supposed to have another hat than the one that we have right now, but you can just jump over this gate right now. He's having a lot of trouble right now getting over this. You can be kind of precise. You need a good double jump in order to get over. There he goes.
Yeah, so it's going to say the same thing it did for cheating the race. It's going to tell him he can't enter, but let him try anyway. It's a good thing that it allows us to give it our all and actually go into the level, rather than blocking us for not having the hat. That would be pretty lame. But we needed normally to make it over that gate by using a dweller hat to like clear a block that has a button in it, and then like that along with 2 other buttons would open it. And that's its way of checking that you like actually got all the hats before you complete the game. You can just jump right over it. Another thing is there's a big wall that you can't get through without it in this level, but that's okay because we're just going to go out of bounds instead. There's a little hole in the wall right there, so you can literally just jump right into it and make it through just fine. And then 2 conveniently placed walls right here that you can climb up in between. So now he's just going to make his way on top of the level. And then an important thing to know about what he's doing here, it's a big half-circle arch. So at some point that he just slid over, there's a spot at some point on this arch where Hat Kid stops being able to stand before the slope gets too steep and she just starts falling. So Chockrit's using that steep slope right now to slide on top of it and get a lot of speed and maintain it the entire time. If he wants to get up from the slide, he has to put himself back up to the safe zone where Hat Kid can walk again without bonking. So there's 2 invisible walls right here that if he doesn't do that, that'll have to go right through without bonking on. It's like that. You saw him do a little jump right there going right and left. He's just swerving right through those little walls. As long as you're holding left as you go to them, then you won't bonk. So he makes that one again. And then just has to jump over this hole. Yeah, makes it just fine.
Okay.
Not too much trouble for him. He should make it to the end. As long as he can get himself standing up again and leave.
Yeah,
so Patwah is going for the same thing.
Yeah, getting out of the slide is kind of risky. Or not risky, you have to do it. But it's, he gets it, by the way. Good job. He's on his way to the end. There's only one more thing he could mess up right now that I can think of.
Oh, but he's taking the safe way.
Yeah, so you can actually jump around this whole thing and go to this cutscene trigger. But he does a safe strat, which I can definitely understand him doing. He's so far ahead, he doesn't want to risk falling down by not landing on the timepiece correctly. Gets a triple hit right off the bat. Good job. Patwah getting full slides, by the way. Wow. Okay. Chockrit is on fire right now. He just got a triple and a double hit in the first phase, which is really good.
So Patwah makes it back up safely as well, so he should just be making it back in bounds, and then he should be fine. The RTA, this is pretty close, but Chockrit does have like a 2-minute lead on him right now. So Patwah taking the faster way, that way could be a little bit more risky, but he makes it just fine. Obviously falling down on the side there would mean you'd have to exit back to hub and try all over again, because then you fall into the void with no way back up.
Yeah, so Chockrit on the final fight right now. There's a couple of different phases of this fight. This part that he's on right now is the most infamous of the 4. Basically, Mustache Girl is gonna bring up shields, and in order to break those shields, you need the Snatcher to toss you a cherry that's lit on fire. And so you throw the cherry at Mustache Girl and she breaks her shield. So depending on how many times she brings up her shield is kind of random, which, oh, he gets bad RNG. He hits her one time and she brings up her shield already. So hopefully he doesn't get a whole lot more of those.
There's another one. 100% rate of cherries so far, already having 3. Not very good. Okay, finally gets 1 no shielded hit. Gets a double hit too, that was a bit lucky. Okay, still comes out with a 3 cherry. 3 cherries about average for him. It just looked scary because he got them all at the start, so you never knew if he was going to get lucky at the end or not. Because you can get 4 or 5 cherries as well.
That was weird RNG from Chockrit. Usually you can hit her at least a couple times in the first few cherries, but she was just being stingy right there. So Chockrit just has to watch this little cutscene, go through the final fight, and then he'll be done with the game. In this final fight, you just have to hit her 8 times, and then the timepiece cluster will spawn, and then once you grab that, the game is over.
Something you can keep track of in this final phase is that, like you said, she has 8 attacks, or 8 hits that times you have to hit her. She has 4 attacks, and so each time after she does an attack, you can like predict which ones are coming up next. Like, say she's done 3 attacks already, you know what the 4th one will be. So you can try to use that to make fighting this end faster. Just a couple more and he should be done.
He goes.
Should be a 49-18 for him. Unless if he runs around at the end. If he goes straight for the timepiece, it should be a 49-18. Yeah. So that was a win for Chockrit by like 1.5 to 2. Good run from him, sub 50 by a little bit. Not bad. Let me update the bracket.
Yeah, good job getting the sub 50. That's a really big milestone for a lot of runners. He getting it in a race is good. Chockrit does have a PB of 47, so it's kind of understandable to see him get a sub 50 in a race. I believe Patwah's PB is also sub 50, but it is not updated on the leaderboard. On the leaderboards, he has a 50-minute and 18-second PB, I believe.
Yeah, but recently he did just enter the sub 50 club. With a 49, something like that. Good job to him.
Is Chockrit
5109.
Chockrit gonna be the first guy to actually give Mustache Girl a timepiece in the tournament? I don't know.
Let's see. Still deciding.
He's going crazy right now. Nope.
Yeah, opting to join everyone else in the Kill Mustache Girl Club.
Never. Mustache Girl never lucky. Alright, let's just see what Patwah does. Oh, Spy gave it to her? Oh, I didn't know that. Good job on Spy. Maybe that's why we don't have world record, because we don't give Mustache Girl a timepiece.
Yeah, Mustache Girl gets happy that Spy actually helps her out, and then she gives him good RNG at the end.
Alright, what does Patwah do?
Nope, yep, just like everyone else.
Both are runners.
Been almost unanimous on this decision so far.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't give it to her either. Even when I PB.
Yeah, that is true. Spy does not have world record. I don't think it's currently on the leaderboards, but username sniped it. Maybe that has something to do with it. We should try and get the runners in here. Let's see if they're down to join.
Yeah, good job. It was a pretty close race going into Battle of the Birds, but Patwah having a few unfortunate mistakes, and particularly Murder on the AliExpress is what made this race split up. Yeah, I'm actually not sure where the audio went. Looks like Chockrit's not. Looks like his audio.
I invited them both to come in here and talk. Let's see. Yeah, we might not be getting an interview from these guys. He may not have seen it. Let me ask in his stream.
Yeah, we do have another hat race coming up in about 35 minutes from now. So if you guys like hat, stay tuned. We will be playing more hat very soon. It's starting to look like we're not going to get a post-race interview from either
Yeah,
of the winners.
I messaged him a couple times and never got a response, so I think we're just gonna be done for now.
Yeah.
I invited them both to interview, but I couldn't get either in, so I think that should be it.
Yeah, so that'll be it for us for now.
But
I will be...
Sewer versus Epic Yoshi Masters coming up soon on Speed Gaming 5. If you want to check that out, coming up soon at 3 p.m. EST.
Yep. I will be commentating that race alongside Afterimage, I think.
Yeah, yes.
Cool. So that'll be it for us for now. So thanks very much for watching, guys, and see you later.
See you guys later.